Hello everyone, intuitive and astrologer Lisa Salvatore here to talk to you about the astrology and the energies for the month of September. Today that I am recording this video, it is August 27th and planet Mercury is about to station direct, and what a Mercury retrograde it has been. Let me know how you made out in the comments below. Not every Mercury retrograde is created equal, but this one was like, I don't know, it was a lot, at least for me. But we're almost through it, and now we're entering a new month. Before we get into it, I have a couple of announcements. I have a couple of things that I want to mention. If you don't care to hear any of that, please check the description box for the timestamps below so that you can just scroll right on to the actual forecast. To all of my new subscribers, welcome. It is lovely to have you here. Thank you for being here. And to all that have been with me for a while, welcome back. Again, it's lovely to have you here. Gratitude to all. In this video, I'm going to be going through the month of September and what you can expect. But for my subscribers, I'm going to have another video that will go through each sign. You can find the link to subscribe to my newsletter in the description box below. Please know that I have two different types of newsletters to be completely transparent. One is totally free, and I do put out a lot of content there, but then I have a paid newsletter. It's $10 a month. And with that, you receive a live broadcast each week for the week ahead for the astrology and the energy. The backdrop of this month, we've got Saturn in Pisces squaring off with Jupiter in Gemini. And this is a definite energy of stop, go. We want to move forward. We want to feel good. We want to feel lighthearted. And at times we will. But there's just this pressure lurking in the background where it doesn't feel like we can quite move forward yet. And also, relationships are going to be a huge theme the month of September and also going into October, but we're going to stick with September right now. A huge theme for the month of September is going to be relationships, all of our relationships, relationships of all kinds, and relationship to self. Also, our own authenticity is going to be called into question. We are all going to be feeling more deeply connected to our own unique, our inner world, our authenticity, the way we are in our relationships. How we feel, and really looking into the why of all of it. What's working, what is not. What needs to be worked on, what needs to be worked through, what needs to be let go of. And more to the point about our relationships is that we've got Venus starting off the month in a trine to Pluto, which brings in this depth of emotion and intensity and heat to our relationships and to the way that we're feeling and to the way that we're moving and navigating throughout our relationships. Venus will also be opposing Neptune, and I'm going to pull up the chart in a moment and go through it all. But Venus is the way that we connect. It's what we love. It's what we like. It's what we're attracted to. It's what we do to bring us joy, to bring us pleasure. And Venus is going to come up against Neptune by opposition, Neptune in Pisces, Venus in Virgo. And the thing is with that is that there's such an emphasis on the fantasy, which is Neptune, and the reality, which is Venus in Virgo. And there's place for both, but we have to be very discerning and we have to be very clear with ourselves that we're seeing things for as they truly are and not just how we wish them to be. That's both personally and collectively. When we're dealing with Neptune, Neptune is a planet that can bring in beauty and romance and mysticism, magic, but it can also bring in delusion. It can be very illusory, it can be very evasive, and it can be very escapist and all about the fantasy. It can have us glossing over real issues just to get the beauty or what we perceive to be the beauty and the good. And like Robert Hand always said about Neptune, with Neptune, you either get the illusion or you get the beauty. So there's opportunity for real goodness here. But again, we just have to sift through the truth in order to make sure that what we're seeing is actually what it is. Even saying it sounds confusing. That's Neptune, very nebulous. The other thing about Neptune is also a planet, the planet that speaks to toxins and pollutants. Remember, all planets, all signs govern over various areas of life. So some of the areas that Neptune also governs over, again, are toxins, pollutants, medicine, addictions. But we are in Virgo season and Neptune is opposing Venus in Virgo and also will oppose the Sun in Virgo. So again, there's this energy of cleaning out the body, cleaning out the toxins, mind, body, spirit. And that is going to be a theme all month long. And where we might be ignoring that, it can become glaringly obvious where we may need to correct that. So just be real with yourself. And then the reason why I say freedom and liberation is that we also have a pretty loose square going on between Uranus and Mercury, which is about tension. And it's also at the same time about heightened intuition and increased awareness and amazing thoughts that come to us and moving forward in an unconventional or different way than we've moved before. But at the same time, there's a tension behind it. So there is this feeling of wanting to be free and wanting to be liberated, but having to be very conscious and mindful about the way that we move so that we don't do anything too hasty and then regret it. On September 1st, we start the month off, and Pluto, the planet of power and transformation and renewal and regeneration, it's also the lord of the underworld. And Pluto is all about, it's about a burial, metaphorically speaking, but then it's also about a resurrection. So again, this is a total death and rebirth on the metaphorical levels. So Pluto is going to back into the 29th degree of Capricorn. Pluto is currently retrograde until October and at 0 degrees of Aquarius as I record this video. But Pluto is going to recede back into Capricorn and be at that 29th degree on September 1st until November 19th. So you may want to check your own chart to see where Capricorn falls, because that's the area of your life that Pluto has been trekking through since 2008. So we're getting to the end of a cycle here, a very powerful cycle, and this will feel different for everyone. If you are a Capricorn, if you have strong Capricorn in your chart, you will definitely have felt the wrath, for better or worse, of Pluto. And I'm sure you're a very different person on the soul level since Pluto has entered Capricorn in 2008. I think that we all are in one or more areas of our lives. Collectively speaking, as Pluto is now back at the 29th degree, we're going to absolutely have a ramp up on the political stage, on the world stage, because this is what Pluto does. He brings in this element of unrest and unease in order to take us higher, to take us better than what we were before. Again, it's the deconstruction to the reconstruction. Pluto strips away what is not working. Pluto is also about power. It's about control. It's about the loss of power, the loss of control. It's about empowerment. And the 29th degree is the critical degree, the anaretic degree. So when a planet is at that 29th degree, especially for a long time because Pluto's very slow moving, we can just expect an acceleration of the wrap up of the dying off process that we are set to experience as the collective, so that we can build the new earth, the new world, the new way, whatever that's going to look like. And again, Pluto will be back at the 29th degree for the final time. None of us will ever see this again, okay? Unless you live for another 200 and, however many years, which I don't think any of us will. But we will never see this transit again of Pluto going through Capricorn. So personally speaking, look to your chart, see where Capricorn falls, check those areas of life. So check your chart, check where Capricorn falls, see what areas of life that house governs over, and ask yourself, where have I transformed? How have I transformed? How have I really come into my own power, even if power had to be stripped away to get you there? So again, we are really wrapping up a cycle here as Pluto enters back into the 29th degree of Capricorn, both collectively and personally. That's just an overview. Let's go ahead and pull up the chart for September. I have the transit set for September 1st at 6 o'clock a.m. Eastern Time, just so you can see what's going on with the planets. We can see here, as of September 1st, Pluto is still at 0 degrees of Aquarius. But later on that evening at 8 o'clock p.m. Eastern Time, we see here that Pluto is now retrograde at 29 degrees and 59 minutes of Capricorn for his final go-around, his final trek. Now we've got Mars here at 28 degrees of Gemini, moving into an exact square with Neptune over here at 29 degrees of Pisces. This is tight, and this is going to be the most potent from September 2nd through the 4th. Here's the thing about this first week of September. I guess the word I would say would be bitey, okay? Bitey or tense and fiery and reactive. People are definitely going to be more reactive, particularly the first week of September, okay? So think like the 1st through the 8th. Our words are wisdom, and our words are weapons, and they have the power to heal and they have the power to hurt. So just be very mindful and very conscious about how you're using your words. Mars in Gemini likes to talk, it likes to speak, it likes to spout out information. And with a square to Neptune, it just, it might not be that clear, or it might not be coming in clear to you. Neptune mucks things up, okay? He just does. The shadow end of Neptune. Neptune can really muck things up, and we can have the potential here to see what we want to see versus what's actually there. So trust your intuition, but be honest with yourself. Don't look at the potential of someone or something. Look at the reality. Then September 2nd, we're going to have a new moon in Virgo. I'm going to do a separate reading for that new moon, so stay tuned. But Mercury is now going to be direct at the time of this new moon, which is really great. This is a really great new moon as is Virgo season. This is a great new moon to set intentions for cleaning it up, mind, body, spirit, okay? And again, in the new moon video, I'm going to go through all of the signs so you can see where this will fall for you. And then on September 4th, Mars moves into Cancer. And Mars will be in Cancer for about 8 weeks, and then he's going to move into Leo. And I bring that up because we are going to have a Mars retrograde, and we're going to talk about that more as we move throughout the next couple of months. But the thing is, when Mars moves into Cancer, he becomes more defensive. So the fighter, the warrior, becomes watered down. He's a watered down warrior. Look at it that way. He can be more defensive, more crabby. There could be, kerfuffles within family dynamics or those that could present as family for you. It could be with colleagues. It could be with friends. But when Mars is in Cancer, we tend to, conflicts tend to erupt easier, specifically with people that we deem as some form of family, people that we spend a lot of time with. We can just feel more frustrated, or they can be more frustrated with us. Mars in Cancer is just, it's really about, Mars is our action, our energy, our force, and our drive. And then we put that in the sign of Cancer. And Cancer is a cardinal sign that does take action and does move forward. But the thing is, Cancer also reacts and acts on their intuition. So the best way to work with the transit of Mars in Cancer for the next 8 weeks or so is integrating your intuition and emotion with appropriate and deliberate action. So ask yourself, with any and all altercations that come up around this time, around the month of September, is this really worth my stress level? Is this really worth my cortisol? Look at it that way. Because remember, we're in Virgo season, and this is all about our health and supporting our nervous system and trying to keep ourselves in a higher vibration. And we cannot do that if we are allowing others to rob us of our peace. Also, we see we've got quite a bit of Libra energy going on here when we get to September 4th. We've got the moon in Libra. The south nodes in Libra still very much focused on release and letting go that which is not serving us, specifically in the area of our relationships. We've got Venus now in Libra. And Venus is the sign that rules over Libra. Libra is all about relationships, balance, and harmony within those relationships, or striving for that. So we all tend to be more focused on relationships at this point, for better or worse. We've also got Black Moon Lilith here at 10 degrees of Libra. We've got Juno here at 10 degrees of Libra. Partnership is at the forefront. All kinds of partnerships. Be very mindful, though, around this time of any type of slander or gossip or manipulation, careless whispers. Think of it that way. Be very mindful of what you're sharing, of what others are sharing with you, because again, we're still dealing with Mars squaring Neptune, and others can seek to manipulate us so that they can get what they want. We've got Pluto now back at the 29th degree. So we really want to watch out for the manipulation tactics of others toward us. And we also want to watch the potential to be manipulative ourselves. We have to do our shadow work, right? We have to turn that flashlight inward and look at our own behaviors as well. September 5th through the 10th is definitely going to feel more frustrating, and even more so if you're mutable, which is Virgo, Pisces, Sagittarius, or Gemini. You could feel very motivated, but you could also feel very overwhelmed and or frustrated at the same time. Remember, we can feel all of these things at one time. It's always a mixed bag. But the sun over here at 14 degrees of Virgo is moving into an opposition with Saturn up here at 16 degrees of Pisces, and Saturn is retrograde. So during this time period, again, I'm going to stretch this to September 10th, we're going to be feeling the gravity of the Sun-Saturn opposition. So what this could really do is, we just want to watch out for being overly critical, both of self and of others. Again, I'm pulling focus onto the physical body, the physical vitality. Pay attention to where you might be feeling depleted, not just physically, but also spiritually, okay? You want to watch what's draining your energy or what's siphoning your energy reserves, and you want to tend to that, because Sun-Saturn does not play around. It wants us to take care of ourselves, or else. And that or else doesn't have to be anything that deep or negative, but you just want to be careful, that's all. You also want to watch again for the fantasy versus the reality when we're dealing with the Virgo Pisces energy here. This is a good time to slow down. Again, there's a lot of mutability, a lot of changeable energies in the skies at this point and in our own realities. So we really want to try to keep that balance, keep a delicate balance between practicality and also spirituality. The practicality is more of the Virgo and the spirituality is more of the Pisces. Virgo is the conscious, where Pisces is the subconscious. Our dreams are going to be heightened this month, absolutely. But remember, we could really be feeling pressure at the beginning of the month because of all of what I'm saying so far. I feel pressure in my head just talking about this. Positively speaking, you can channel this towards chores, and towards wrapping up projects and towards constructive conversations and relationships. But just again, with Neptune, be careful that you're saying what you mean to say and that you're not expecting anybody to read your mind or to read the cues. Be very clear, and that will just help things along. And further helping the communication along, Mercury is going to return back to its home sign of Virgo on September 9th, and Mercury will be in Virgo until September 26th. Mercury is now just about moving forward, full speed ahead. Mercury moves very quickly. So Mercury is going to zip through Virgo. It's going to be in Virgo from the 9th until the 26th. And on September 11th, Mercury will actually clear its shadow, its post-retrograde shadow. So Mercury is really going full speed ahead, and communication and projects that you might have lost some steam on, you may get some answers at this point. Things could just start to really roll forward as we get to the 9th, 10th, and 11th when it comes to any communication projects or just projects in general. Remember that Mercury is the messenger. He's also our internal messenger. Mercury is the gateway. It's the bridge between our thoughts and our mind and then our words and our mouths. So the thing with Mercury is, Mercury really does want to help us communicate more effectively and efficiently. And so when Mercury's in Virgo, a sign that he favors, we all become more Virgo-like in our communication style and in our thinking, in the way that we're thinking. So I highly recommend that this might be a good exercise to try. Each time Mercury enters a new sign, journal and keep track of what comes up for you until he enters the next sign. And again, you don't have to do that. That's just if you want to work more with the energies of the cosmos, specifically Mercury, the messenger planet, to see what he's trying to reveal to you when he's in each sign, or see how information comes through to you when he enters a new sign. It's another cool way to look at it. Eclipse season is also right back around. We've got the first eclipse here of the Virgo and Pisces series. Okay, so we've got a full moon lunar eclipse. It's partial. It's a partial lunar eclipse. And that one's going to take place on September the 17th at 25 degrees of Pisces. And again, I'm not going to go too into detail here because I'm going to do another reading for that as we move forward. But this particular point also feels a little bit stressed because this full moon eclipse is occurring pretty close to Neptune, which again can just be very nebulous, very confusing, but positively speaking, extremely intuitive and extremely creative and poetic. But also the moon and Neptune are stressed because they're opposing the sun over here in Virgo. Again, not the time to skip out on taking care of your body. I cannot stress that enough. I'm saying it to myself just as much as I'm saying it to everyone else. This is a time of, magic and also momentum. And then also at the same time, like this accelerated feeling of things just speeding up. And it's just important to remember that we are all the co-creators of our destiny. And eclipses will always bring in entrances and exits and stops and starts, and it's the new versus the old. And I also want to stress that it is not the same for everybody because we all have our own unique astrology, but you can check your chart to see where Pisces and Virgo fall so that you can see where these eclipses will impact. And I just want to mention again that I do have under my courses and products a 3-part tutorial that I did a while ago. I recorded it. And it is a paid download, but in my opinion, it's very worth it because it's evergreen content that you can always refer back to. I go into a lot of detail on how to pull up your chart in several different ways, how to track the full moons and new moons and transiting planets as they move throughout your chart and why you should. I also give you details into all of the zodiac signs, the planets, and the houses. So it's completely worth it if you really want to start tracking these energies. If not, just disregard. Then on September 20th, we have a minor aspect that I do want to pull some focus onto. We've got Saturn here at 15 degrees of Pisces, and we've got Uranus over here at 27 degrees of Taurus. So Uranus and Saturn are making an aspect to each other called a quintile. It's a 72-degree aspect. I learned about the significance of this aspect through the great astrologer Rick Levine, and I'm so grateful that I did because I love this aspect. Again, while it might be considered minor, it does speak to a sense of talent and magic that we hold. And it's in the ethers, it's in the energy at this point. So because Saturn and Uranus both rule over Aquarius, what I encourage you to do is to look to the Aquarius area of your birth chart, because that's going to show many things, but it's going to show by way of which you are an individual in your own right, and where you seek to not follow the herd, to be your own person, to be unique, to bring your energy and talents to the world in a different way, in your own unique, special way. But that is what the Saturn-Uranus quintile speaks to, I want to put a very positive spin on that. And I want you to look to the Aquarius part of your chart, even though Saturn's in Pisces and Uranus is in Taurus. Because both Saturn and Uranus are the ruler of Aquarius, I encourage you, like I said, to look to that part of your chart. But just overall, in general, you could find that you're more inclined to pull into your natural talents that might not be so readily obvious to the others around you. And who cares? Uranus asks us to break free and do things a different way. Uranus is now retrograde as of September 1st. So he's asking us to slow down and to really integrate all that we've learned over the last 5 or 6 months. And then we get to one of my favorite points of the year, which is the autumn equinox or the autumnal equinox here in the northern hemisphere. It is the spring equinox or the vernal equinox in the southern hemisphere. And the equinox, we know it's equal parts day and light, but more than that, it's a celestial checkpoint. And the energy of this season is ripe with change, and we can almost smell it in the air. And it is all about bringing back balance. Again, equal parts of day and light, right? Equal parts of dark and light at the soul level, equal parts yin and yang, the masculine and the feminine. We all hold all of these energies, all of the duality. And this is the perfect time to really reevaluate and then recalibrate. It's a great time to set intentions. Think about the energy of the season of autumn. The leaves change colors, they shed, and it's a reminder that we too can do the same. And then we can also grow back beautifully. It's a time of renewal and regeneration. It's also a time of letting go and recalibration. We see here September 22nd, 8:44 a.m. Eastern Time, the sun moves into Libra, and the sun is very close to the South Node. The South Node in Libra, this is all about release and letting go of what is no longer serving us, especially when it comes to our connections, our relationships. So there is this really strong sense of shedding, like I mentioned about the leaves, and there's a reminder that letting go of what is no longer serving us is not selfish. It's actually selfless. You're also setting someone or something else free as you set yourself free, as you move forward with peace and love in your heart, because Libra is all about peace. At least that's what Libra strives for. So this is a perfect time to set some intentions and to really go inward and reflect to see where it is that you may be holding on too tightly, or what you might be holding on too tightly to, or whom you might be holding on too tightly to, and do some sort of release ritual around that for yourself and honor how far you've come. Then Venus, the goddess of love and pleasure, Venus will also vacate the sign of Libra where she favors, and she will move into the sign of Scorpio where she is considered to be in her fall, which doesn't make it bad. It just means Venus struggles a little bit more in Scorpio. And honestly, Venus in Scorpio can be very beautiful and powerful. I guess powerful would be the key word. Venus in Scorpio is deep. She's intense. She's probing. She wants to get to the nitty gritty. She does not want superficiality. Venus will officially enter Scorpio later on in the evening of September 22nd at 10:37 p.m. Eastern Time to be exact. The goddess of love goes into the underworld. The goddess goes dark and steamy. This can be a good thing. This can be very powerful, very passionate, very intense. But we know that passion swings both ways. It can also bring about some challenges in relationships. But we said September is going to be a month of relationship focus. As we move throughout the remainder of this month, there's a mixed bag of energies as always. There's a lot of powerful and positive things here, and then there's also a lot of powerful and challenging things that are here. It's all about how we work with the energies. On September 25th, we've got Saturn here at 14 degrees of Pisces, and we have Pluto over here at 29 degrees of Capricorn. This is operating in the background, but it is important. The aspect that Pluto and Saturn are making is called a semi-square aspect. This aspect operates kind of like a thorn in our side. It's there. It doesn't really go away. And the thing that I dislike about it is that it's considered a square. So it's tension. It's just not as obvious as if it were a full-on square, but it's a semi-square. So it's still there. And Saturn-Pluto aspects, especially the harsh ones, have been around when we've had some pretty major world situations occur. Just as an example, we had Saturn conjunct Pluto when we first dealt with the 2020 pandemic. I'm not saying that's going to happen again. Now, personally speaking, it's like things that really annoy us can feel that much more pronounced, especially when it comes to our relationships. It can cause a sense of stubbornness, but also it can cause this tremendous fortitude and need to succeed. So again, take it as you wish. It's just part of the month. It's part of the energies. Saturn also squaring Jupiter is part of the energies. Even though they're separating at this point, it's still very much operational. So we can still just feel this frustrating energy, but also with the sense of freedom attached to it as we move through. Now, collectively speaking, with the Saturn-Pluto and the Jupiter-Saturn, again, I just keep feeling that as we move throughout the month, there's going to be potential restrictions placed in specific areas, okay, across the world, potential. But they're also going to be temporary. I don't feel like they're going to be permanent. Temporary, but I also see this as the people stepping up and saying, no more. We're not going to put up with this. So I'm not sure how that's going to play out. Then on September 26th, Mercury moves into the sign of Libra. And this is helpful because this pulls focus onto diplomacy and harmony being at the forefront of our minds and our hearts. So it's more about we're thinking and communicating in a more diplomatic manner, where when Mercury was in Virgo, we were definitely analyzing and we were trying to be practical. And now in Libra, it's almost just bringing in this energy of let's recalibrate now in a compromising way that suits all. And then we get to the end of the month and we close out on a high note. We close out on a beautiful note. We've got a Mercury Cazimi. We have the conjunction of Mercury and the Sun. Cazimi, if you don't know, is an Arabic word that means through the heart of the sun, or the heart of the sun. So this is where Mercury, the planet, conjuncts the sun. This is a superior conjunction between the sun and Mercury. So what this means is now that Mercury is direct and Mercury's position in the sky is now behind the sun from our perspective here on Earth. In other words, Mercury is the furthest away right now that it can be from Earth. We also have Cazimis when Mercury's retrograde. I just want to mention that. But when we have the Cazimi when Mercury is retrograde, that's where Mercury is actually sitting between the Earth and the Sun. So that's known as the inferior conjunction when Mercury's retrograde. But this one is the superior conjunction. So because Mercury's now direct, Mercury's, like I said, now on the other side of the Sun from our vantage point here on Earth. Both conjunctions are equally powerful. These Cazimi moments can lead to really profound and powerful insights. You definitely pay attention more so to the dream space when we have these types of energies. In fact, all throughout the month of September, as I mentioned earlier, keep a dream journal, pay very close attention. I know that the dreams have been very colorful, very profound. A lot of people have expressed to me that they feel that they're astral traveling and having very lucid dreams, visitations, and experiences in their dream space. That is absolutely true. A great way to work with the Mercury Cazimi energy for yourself personally is to communicate something authentically from your heart that can bring in a sense of balance and or peace to a situation or a relationship in your life. Don't hold back, do it lovingly, do it kindly, or put it out to the universe that these communications come toward you. It's all about intention. Manifestation is intention setting. Mercury is the planet of manifestation. It is our mind. It's the way that we think, the way that we speak. So we must keep it clear and concise and positive, because what we are vibing on is what we can actually be calling in. That's what we're pulling in. So we want to keep it positive. Take really good care of yourselves this month. Ground, take care of the physical body, mind, body, spirit. Clean it up. That's what Virgo season is all about. Again, if you'd like more detailed readings through the signs, please be sure to subscribe to my newsletter, and you can find everything else in the description box. Take care. Bye.